live on DAZN. Boxing is back in the Big Apple in a big way. We're coming to you from Times Square as we officially kick off Fight Week for the Ring 3 card, which features not one, but two main events, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Grand Arrivals live now from the Hard Rock. Let's rock and roll.
Live, only on DAZN, July 12th. Ring 3, Berlanga versus Sheeraz and Stevenson versus Zepeda. They're in their prime, they're hungry, and they're done being called the future. This isn't about future, it's about now. Because in boxing, legacy isn't handed out, it's taken. 4 rising kings, 2 brutal battles, 1 night to take the throne. Who's next in line? Berlanga versus Sheeraz, Stevenson versus Zepeda. Ring 3, July 12th, live, only on DAZN. Buy now at DAZN.com/boxing.
And that is the scene, ladies and gentlemen. Just 2 months after the historic Ring 2 card in Times Square, we're back, this time for the Ring 3 Grand Arrivals from the Hard Rock Cafe in Times Square. And that's the way it looks, as we'll be seeing all the fighters here momentarily, hear from them as well, as we count down the days and the hours to Saturday night's main event, live from the Louis Armstrong Stadium in Queens, New York. I'm Todd Grisham. This is Sergio Mora. And Sergio, maybe I'm wrong, but a fight week in New York feels a little different, does it not?
You are not wrong. There's magic in there. I mean, so many legendary fighters have fought here in this area, in Brooklyn, in Queens, all over this borough. It's magical. I have an experience fighting the Barclays Center. It was incredible. I mean, the first round knockout, Daniel Jacobs put me down. I put him down. The fans went nuts. Unfortunately, it only lasted 3 minutes, but the magic, I felt it, man. So I think these fighters here are going to feel the exact same thing.
Yeah, there's nothing like a New York City crowd, and it will be a packed house come Saturday night, because we have not one but 2 main events. It's a double main event, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hone in, though, on the hometown guy, so to speak. Edgar Berlanga from Brooklyn, New York, promises to bring hell to Hamza Sheeraz, and this one has all the makings of a possible Fight of the Year contender.
Because it's the hometown curse that I like to talk about. Berlanga's going to want to be wanting to knock out Hamza Sheeraz. Sheeraz didn't really look good against Carlos Adames. He got lucky in a draw, but this is a good style matchup for Berlanga to look good. But he needs to implement that jab if he's going to break that distance. The power's not going to be enough with a tall, younger, longer fighter in Sheeraz.
Yeah, Sheeraz moving up to 168. He doesn't have to cut that weight. Is that going to be a big difference maker for him?
Absolutely. I mean, he can put on more weight in that long frame. You know, he has the shoulders, he has the width, he has the length. That's definitely going to be a plus for Hamza Sheeraz.
All right. Here was a stare down the 2 men had back in Times Square in the Ring 2 card. And, boy, Edgar Berlanga thinks this is going to be his breaking out party. He feels like he's been wrongfully criticized for not doing enough against Canelo.
No, I don't think he has been wrongfully criticized. I think that's what he needed. He needs to feel that criticism. He needs to know that power's not going to be enough on the elite level. Now, Hamza Sheeraz is not elite fighter, but he is an undefeated fighter. He carries that swag of an undefeated fighter. He has a lot of support on his backing him up. So I think stylistically, I think he's going to have some issues. But later on in the fight, I think the power of Berlanga will come through.
All right, now let's talk about the other main event, and it's the return, of course, of Shakur Stevenson. He takes on William Zepeda. And we've talked about Shakur Stevenson moving around the ring. He says it's good defensive move. It's good tactics. But against William Zepeda, he's really going to have no choice but to engage against this Mexican who doesn't stop throwing punches.
No, stylistically, I think this is the best fight on the card. 2 southpaws that have completely different styles of fighting. One is an aggressive, come-forward fighter, and Camarón Zepeda throws 100 punches around 1,000 if you let him go the distance. And then you have a slick fighter, silver medalist, 3-division champion, someone that just pot shots you from the angles. Another southpaw that knows how to use those left-handed angles. This is a boxing purist dream come true. It really is. Can Zepeda break that distance, land those body shots, slow down the legs of this cat-like, offensive fighter in Shakur Stevens, or can Shakur Stevens actually get a knockdown and go for the stoppage and, shut a lot of people up? Because that's his criticism, that he doesn't go for the knockout when he's controlling fights. He's going to have no choice but to do that against Zepeda.
Well, Turki Al-Ashik has been posting memes about Tom and Jerry, about the ring shrinking after every round. Do you think that's getting inside Shakur's head? He says it's not, but it's got to affect him a little bit.
No, it's not going to get in his head because he knows who he is. He's been so successful being a boxer. And I love that meme that Shakur ended up doing where Jerry, the mouse, actually he punched the cat. So so I love the fact that he used that to his advantage, and he knows that he's a boxer. He's not going to go try to outslug someone like Zepeda.
All right, we don't condone animal abuse, by the way. Let's now check in with the third and fourth members of today's broadcast crew, Claudia Trejos and Wade Clemens.
Thanks, Todd and Claudia. Today is a day where we will watch these fighters go from the Catskills to the catwalk, where they will talk the talk and walk the walk. We'll be interviewing them after, but before we get into any of that, just like Todd and Sergio did, I want to talk about that double main event. And let's start with the WBC Lightweight World Championship. Shakur Stevenson, William Zepeda, your thoughts?
My thoughts is strength versus speed and mobility. Let's talk about Zepeda's power and output. It's one of the highest punching outputs we have right now, and he's being for the title. And by the way, Stevenson, he's doing a great job at just keeping the movement and the skills, like Sergio said, very skilled, and obviously his pedigree being a very highly decorated amateur, that's going to come to the table.
We're talking about Olympian. We're talking about a three-weight world champion, and styles make fights, so that one is one to keep our eye on for sure. But let's talk about that other main event. Again, double header, and you're getting Edgar Berlanga versus Hamza Sheeraz. Sheeraz moving up to 168. Berlanga a power puncher. Sheeraz a power puncher. What do you think?
They're testing themselves. Coming up to 168, that's not an easy feat. And taking on Berlanga, hard-hitting 168, that's going to be tough. But, Berlanga has an even higher commitment. He needs to show off and show up right here in his hometown, not only New York, but with his Boricua people. The Puerto Ricans are going to be here.
True. And before we go back to Todd, I want one sleeper fight from you. Obviously, every fight is must-see on this card, but what's one you don't want to miss outside of that double?
You can definitely not have do not take a nap with Suriel Matias against Alberto Puello. First and foremost, we're talking about two slick fighters, powerful Matias, but it's Dominican against Puerto Rico, and we know they are basically in their backyard right here in New York.
You heard her, Todd. Don't sleep on any of it. A card you do not want to miss, Ring 3 this Saturday.
I won't be sleeping, Wade, since I'll be calling the action ringside. Can't wait to do that. Let's show you the entire fight card, by the way, as we get set for Ring 3 live from the U.S. Open Tennis Complex, Louis Armstrong Stadium in Queens, New York. There's the fight at the top of the card there that Claudia was just mentioning. Alberto Puello and Suriel Matias. Starting the fight card off is Muhammad Alakel, who we've called a couple times Sergio in Saudi Arabia. And then it's the debut in America, Arito Tsutsumi, who's 1-0, but what a prospect they believe he can be.
Oh, man, I love the fact that they give an opportunity to these Japanese fighters that are starting off their career. And Tsutsumi, already on the big stage here in New York City. So, yeah, you can expect him to shine.
Also, David Morrell there and Imam Kataya. Then the double main event, Sergio, Shakur Stevenson and William Zepeda, then Edgar Berlanga and Hamza Sheeraz. Which fight do you think will be more entertaining?
It has to be Zepeda Stevenson, because look, Zepeda's not going to give Stevenson a chance to breathe, so he's going to have to fight him off, and that is going to cause a knockout.
I'm going to go with Berlanga, obviously. All right, let's send it down to the ring now, and the master of ceremonies, Mr. Thomas Triber.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the grand arrivals for Ring 3, a great night of World Championship Boxing this Saturday, July 12th at Louis Armstrong Stadium in New York. It is all being brought to you by Ring Magazine with Oscar De La Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions, Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing, Frank Warren for Queensberry, Spencer Brown for Gold Star Promotions, Warriors Boxing, and Sella in collaboration with Box Raw. Along with their great sponsors. Public Investment Fund, Visit Saudi, Visit Qatar, SRMG, STC, Dr. Suleiman El Habib Medical Group, Saudia, the national airline of Saudi Arabia, Jeddah Season, Shori, Malaf Cola, Core Life, Desert, NHC, Jacko, Sky, ANB, DAZN, Crypto, Rotana, First Data, Islamic Solitary Games, The Red Sea, SMC, Sella, Jeddah Economic Company, Middle Beast, Atlantis, Intercontinental, Arroyo Cruises, and Conos. A big thanks to those great sponsors. A reminder, this great event will be shown live worldwide on DAZN. Buy now at DAZN.com. Let's now get the grand arrivals started. Our first fighter competing Saturday in a scheduled 6-round featherweight contest. Coming to us from Japan, he had a stellar amateur career, capturing gold at the 2021 World Youth Championships, and now a proud ring ambassador. He is undefeated as a professional with 1 victory. Let's welcome Reito Tsutsumi.
So there's Ryuto Tsutsumi, featherweight, fighting out of Tokyo, Japan. Imagine, Sergio, your second ever pro fight in New York City.
You got to love that, man. This is an aggressive southpaw. I mean, all these Japanese fighters have their own Japanese style of fight, and they go for the knockout. They're very exciting. I'm looking forward to this one.
Our next fighter competing Saturday in a scheduled 10-round light heavyweight contest. Coming to us from Santa Clara, Cuba. He brings a professional record of 11 wins, just 1 defeat. 9 of his 11 wins coming by way of knockout. Currently ranked number 8 by Ring Magazine, he is the former 2-weight world champion, David Morrell.
David Morrell trying to bounce back from that loss against David Benavidez. Sergio, he just waited too long to get going that night, didn't he?
Well, you had to against Benavidez, but this is a tall, power-punching southpaw that needed to get his swag. He needed to get his confidence, and he got his confidence from the Mexican monster. I think we're going to see a different beast here tonight.
Where do you think you're going? ¿Para dónde vas?
No sé.
No, not so quick, not so fast, no tan rápido. Estás de regreso aquí en la ciudad de New York. You're back here in New York. How does it feel to be back, ready to go? ¿Qué se siente estar aquí, ya listo para comenzar otra vez?
I feel great, feel great. I can wait more for come back to the ring. Came back more focused myself, more focused on the training. For the experience in my last fight, I'm back.
You were very quick at the fighters meeting saying that this is a good challenge for you, but you got this. What does that mean? ¿Qué significa eso? Cuando estábamos en la junta de los peleadores dijiste, este es un reto, pero yo tengo esto en el bolsillo.
No, pues obviamente, como siempre digo, o sea, todo está en la mente. Todo está en la mente, todo es cuestión de proponerse el objetivo que uno quiere. Obviamente sin menospreciar al oponente, pero nada, solamente trabajo duro, dirá la última palabra.
I got everything in my head. Everything is about the head, the preparation, and I am ready for this, and I have no disrespect for my opponent, but I got this. And with that being said, you had a very tough lesson. What did you take from that to this fight? Tuviste una lección muy importante, muy difícil. ¿Qué te llevaste de esa lección para esta pelea?
Nada, pues obviamente no dejarme guiar por tú sabes, por mente más débil que la de uno, mantenerme con mi personalidad, como siempre he sido yo, sabes, contento, bailando, riéndome y mantenerme esa esencia, que es lo que me ha hecho estar donde estoy hoy por hoy.
Well, I just have to do what I do best, be myself, and always be happy and get going, and that's what actually has been the key to my success. Well, we look forward to seeing you for the rest of the week. Good luck on Saturday. Te vemos el resto de la semana. Te veo el sábado.
Gracias, mi amable.
Our next 2 fighters competing Saturday in a scheduled 12-round contest, and it will be for the WBC Super Lightweight Championship of the World. Let's first welcome the challenger, coming to us from Fajardo, Puerto Rico. He brings a professional record of 22 wins, just 2 defeats, with all 22 wins coming by way of knockout. Currently ranked number 6 by Ring Magazine, he is the former IBF Super Lightweight Champion of the World. Let's welcome Subriel, el orgullo de Maternillo, Matias.
All right, Sergio Subriel Matias. When he wins decisively. 22 wins, 22 knockouts, but that glaring loss to Liam Paro jumps off the page.
Yes, it does, because Paro was also a southpaw, just like he's going to have to face on Saturday. But this is a man that learned from that hiccup, that loss in Puerto Rico. It's supposed to be a big hometown, coming out party for him. That power. Now he has a second chance.
Subriel, you're a man on a mission, and you're back here to New York. You're a hop, skip, and a jump from that mission that you had over a year and a half ago. How does it feel? Hace año y medio comenzaste una misión y ahora estás aquí, es donde conoces muy bien y estás a un paso de esa misión. ¿Qué se siente?
Súper contento. Primero que nada, gracias a Dios, sobre todo a mi promotor, a mi equipo de trabajo que está tras bastidores y al que hizo esto posible.
I'm very happy. I am grateful to not only my team, but also my promoter, because they made this possible. When we talk about those lessons learned after that Liam Paro loss, what did you take to heart after that event? Hablamos de esa pelea contra Liam Paro que te llevaste cosas al corazón, de verdad te afectaron. ¿Nos puedes compartir algo de eso?
Afectar, no. ¿Sabe? Yo sí creo que bastante maduro en cuanto a aceptar, ¿verdad?, los errores y sobre todo asumirlos. Y hay errores que cuestan y a mí me tocó ese día perder. Pero un año después estoy aquí y I'm the new.
And the new. Affect me? No, not really. It's about maturity to be able to accept, and mistakes have a cost, and that was my day. It was my price to pay. Now I'm ready, and he's ready to hear and the new. You're back in New York. You fight like you're a local here. People love you. How does that motivate you? Básicamente estás de regreso a New York, donde tú peleas como si estuvieras en casa. ¿Cómo te motiva eso?
Pues mira, ¿verdad? Sacando esa pregunta aparte, hay una bestia ahora mismo dentro de mí que está loca de salir a pasear el sábado y vamos a ver si Pollo tiene los cojones para poder domarla.
Besides that, besides being in Puerto Rico, there's a beast within me that's getting ready to come out, and it's going to come out and show up on Saturday. So let's hope that they can actually control that beast. Thank you very much. See you the rest of the week. Muchas gracias. Te vemos la próxima semana.
And now let's welcome the defending world champion, coming to us from San Juan de la Maguana in la República Dominicana. He brings an undefeated record with 24 wins, 10 of his 24 wins coming by way of knockout. Currently ranked number 2 by Ring Magazine, he is the reigning and defending WBC Super Lightweight Champion of the World. Let's welcome Alberto La Avispa Puello.
Alberto Puello, who currently fights out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Sergio, he wins, but always wins close. 3 out of his last 4 have been split decision victories, including his most recent against Sandor Martin. What did you learn about him in that fight?
I learned that he can actually outbox and outfight certain styles. I mean, Sandor Martin is a guy that gives everyone headaches. And, of course, Russell had a 100% knockout ratio. He was able to handle a boxer and a puncher. That's high fight IQ.
Alberto Puello, welcome back. Good to see you. And we talked a little bit yesterday. We were talking about how excited you are and how you're so willing to show the Dominican power, fufu power here. Tell me a little bit about that. Hablamos un poco ayer, bienvenido de regreso a New York, y hablamos un poquito de lo que estás listo para demostrar, lo que es la fuerza dominicana. Háblanos un poco de eso.
Claro que sí. Primero que nada, gracias a Dios y gracias a mi equipo por llevarme a un nivel superior al que estaba antes, y estoy preparado para este sábado por la noche dar la guerra.
Of course, first and foremost, I want to thank God and my team for bringing me up to a higher level, and I am ready to go for a war on Saturday. We've always spoken about that rivalry between Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. A lot of people don't understand that there's basic differences, but in boxing, you guys are known for baseball. Puerto Rico is known for boxing. What do you have to prove on Saturday? No, muy poca gente habla de esa rivalidad entre República Dominicana y Puerto Rico. República Dominicana es conocida por la pelota caliente, y Puerto Rico por el boxeo. ¿Qué tienes que decir tú al respecto?
Bueno, pienso que este sábado por la noche habrá una nueva victoria. Pienso que después de esta pelea, Dios mediante, va a haber una gran rivalidad entre los boricuas y los dominicanos.
Well, on Saturday with this victory, we're going to show that Puerto Rico has their own legacy, but Dominican is willing to also show up and show off on Saturday. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias. Nos vemos pronto. See you soon.
So there you have it. That's the 4 undercard fighters that we've met. And now we're about to turn our attention to the 4 men who will be making the walk in the co-double main event bill. By the way, look who's joining us now, Sergio. It's Mike Coppinger.
I'm around greatness. I mean, I got to tell you one thing, man. I love and appreciate great writing. Mike Coppinger, you know, I have a show called The Fighter and the Writer. I love your writing. Welcome to the broadcast.
Rat and Snake. What do you guys think?
No, I love it. I love the fact that I'm around greatness here, around Mike Coppinger. Come on now.
He's trying to give you the legend status here. Right before he takes you down with this argument, I know you heard this, Mike, right as you were about to get on stage. I asked Sergio, of the 2 main events, which one was going to be the most exciting? He says that it's going to be the Zepeda fight versus Shakur Stevenson. You couldn't disagree anymore.
Look, I think that Zepeda and Shakur has the opportunity to be a great fight. If Zepeda can fight his fight, we know Shakur is not going to really cooperate there. But Hamza Sheeraz, Edgar Berlanga, we're talking about 2 big punchers, 2 guys with a lot to prove. Sheeraz looking to fight Canelo Alvarez next year if he can win here.
No, I agree with you, but Sheeraz struggled with Adames. So on the championship level, we've seen him struggle already. I think Zepeda, undefeated, throwing 100 punches around. That ring's going to get smaller and smaller for Shakur Stevenson. And look, he knows how to handle volume punches. The reason I think that fight ends in a knockout is because when Shakur is forced to fight, he can actually hurt people, especially starts digging to the body of Zepeda. That's when you know he's going to slow him down. I expect the knockout. I expect that to be the fight of the night.
Shakur Stevenson is going to knock out Zepeda.
I think he's going to bust him up, absolutely.
This is not Josh Padley, an electrician, taking the fight on 2 days' notice, Sergio.
Well, you're going to find out. Look, whenever you have aggression, whenever you have a guy that's pushing the fight, a boxer, even if he doesn't have much power, he's forced to be accurate. He's forced to find a way to beat him, forced to fight him. So, look, he's not going to be a boxer. I think Shakur's going to have to really fight this man off.
I'll give you the last word, Mike.
Okay, I just want to point out for all the viewers here, when Sergio says the ring's going to get smaller and smaller for Shakur, he meant it figuratively. Sergio, I think, was joking about the ring shrinking.
All right, we'll meet all 4 men who will be squaring off in our double main events right after this. You're watching DAZN, the worldwide home of boxing.
DAZN, the undisputed global home of boxing, where the greatest fighters take center stage, with fights every week and over 185 a year. And now, the mighty Queensberry joins over 30 worldwide promoters to up the ante like never before, with the best of the best.
The biggest nights.
There's no limits to what's possible. Nobody brings you closer to the action, because if the fight is on, it's on DAZN, the global home of boxing.
DAZN, not just the home of boxing here, we're also the home of the FIFA Club World Cup, where the competition has reached the business end. The first semifinal takes place today just a few miles from here as Fluminense face Chelsea at MetLife Stadium. Kickoff at 3 p.m., so you can flick right over for all the action live once we're done here at the Grand Arrivals. Here's Thomas Triber.
Next 2 fighters competing this Saturday in the first of our double main event. It is scheduled for 12 rounds, and it will be for the WBC Lightweight Championship of the World. Let's first welcome the challenger, coming to us from San Mateo Atenco, Mexico. He is undefeated with 33 wins, 27 of his 33 wins coming by way of knockout. Ranked number 3 by Ring Magazine, he is the current WBC interim lightweight champion of the world. Let's welcome William El Camarón Zepeda.
Well, Mike, we know Turki Al-Sheikh likes exciting fights, and this is an exciting fighter.
Yeah, look, William Zepeda, one of the best action fighters in all of boxing, great body puncher, and I think that's really, Todd, is going to be the key to the fight. Can Zepeda hurt Shakur to the body and slow him down?
I think he can because, look, this is a man that knows nothing else. He knows how to box to the body. He knows how to rip up the uppercuts. The thing about Shakur, he doesn't let you close that distance. The thing about Camarón is he forces you to fight.
All right, let's sit it down now to Claudia Trejos.
Hey, Todd, first time in New York for you, yet you have already been here in your head. Can you share with us what you visualized? Es tu primera vez aquí en la ciudad de Nueva York. Sin embargo, en tu cabeza ya estuviste aquí. ¿Podrías compartir con nosotros lo que visualizaste?
Así es, estoy muy contento, muy emocionado, agradecido por la oportunidad y por mucho tiempo soñé con pelear aquí en Nueva York. ¿Quién iba a decir que en unos años iba a ser mi primera pelea por el campeonato del mundo? Y pues vengo muy emocionado y contento.
¿Pero qué visualizaste? ¿Qué te viste haciendo tú aquí?
No, yo me veía ganando y al otro día después de ganar me veía caminando en el Central Park con mi victoria, disfrutándola, pero creo que se va a cumplir disfrutando caminar ahí en Central Park con mi cinturón.
He's very happy, very excited to be here in New York. He never thought that only a few years later he'd be actually going for a title here in the city that doesn't sleep. And then I just made emphasis on the fact that he visualized something. And he says, yes, I visualized me in a victory and the next day walking with my title and my belt in Central Park. And with that being said, you're basically coming to New York and you're facing a very, very skillful with a very, very deep pedigree in the amateur boxing, Olympian. What does that mean to you? Estás enfrentando aquí en la ciudad de New York a alguien que viene con muchas habilidades y obviamente con un pedigree amateur olímpico bastante extenso. ¿Qué significa eso para ti?
No, pues sabemos que tenemos un gran compromiso, sabemos de la calidad de nuestro rival, pero como siempre lo he mencionado, yo quiero pasar a la historia en esto del boxeo. Quiero escribir con letras de oro el nombre de William Camarón Zepeda y solamente venciendo a este tipo de rivales es como lo vamos a lograr.
I'm sure that I'm facing a very, very worthy opponent. I understand his skills, but you know, I'm going to take this opportunity and I'm going to write with golden letters my new victory in the history books of boxing. We wish you the best of luck and we'll see you the rest of the week. Te deseamos la mejor de las suertes y te vemos el resto de la semana. Muchas gracias.
Gracias.
The defending world champion from Newark, New Jersey, a 2016 Olympic silver medalist, now undefeated as a professional with 23 wins, 11 of those 23 wins coming by way of knockout. Ranked number 2 by Ring Magazine, he is the reigning and defending WBC lightweight champion of the world, Shakur Stevenson.
Well, Sergio, correct me if I'm wrong, but any great fighter says your goal is to make your opponent fight your style of fight. How does this man get Zepeda to fight like him?
Well, he's not. I mean, he's going to stick to his MO. His MO is keeping that range, using that left-handed advantage, using the jab. That's the main thing. His accuracy is what makes Stevenson so difficult to beat. It's not the power, it's the accuracy.
Let's send it down to Wade.
Thanks, Don. I'm here with the champ. Yes, sir. Shakur Stevenson, you had a little bit of a signal there for Team Zepeda. What was that?
I'm just letting them know I'm ready and I'm coming. This is my spot. This is my opportunity. And I can't wait to show the fans who I truly am.
It does feel like this is a moment where you get to remind people that you are great at every level of boxing. You have been throughout your career. Is that something that's giving you a little more energy this week?
Yeah, for sure. It's a lot of doubters. There's a lot of haters. There's a lot of people that think that I'm not who I say I am. So Saturday night, we're going to see if they right or they wrong, and I promise you they wrong.
I love the intensity, my man. Last one from me. You guys can hear it. He's locked in. There's been a little gamesmanship online between you, Turki Al-Sheikh, a lot of people talking Tom and Jerry. Can we put this to rest right now? What's going on with all this?
If you call me Jerry, then I'm whooping Tom ass. So that's what I'm coming here for. So Tom, Jerry whooping Tom ass for sure.
You had a message for me yesterday, and you said it's a theme this week. What was that phrase you kept using?
Belt to motherfucking ass. Belt, belt, belt. What the fuck is they talking about? Nah.
There he is, the champ, folks. One more time, give it up for Shakur Stevenson.
Our next two fighters competing Saturday in a scheduled 12-round contest in the super middleweight division, and it is a WBC final elimination bout. Let's first welcome, coming to us from Ilford, Essex, England. He brings an undefeated record with 21 wins, 1 draw, 17 of his 21 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the undefeated former WBC silver, Commonwealth and European middleweight champion, and former world title challenger, Hamza Sheeraz.
All right, Mike, a lot of people here in the United States aren't too familiar with Sheeraz, other than that he carries a lot of class. He looks good, great smile, speaks well, super awesome individual. What are we going to see in the ring from him?
I think Hamza Sheeraz, if he wants to score this win, which would be the biggest win of his career, he has to keep his fight long, use his feet, use his jab, and then punish Berlanga when he makes a mistake.
Look, it's going to be difficult for him to keep this fight long, but he's going to have to fight out Berlanga. Berlanga is going to have to use his jab. That's one thing that Sheeraz has. He's going to use that length, that height, the youth. This is going to be an interesting fight, a fight that could end in a knockout late.
Folks, I'm here with Hamza Sheeraz, one half of the main event. Are you sure you're a 168-pounder? You're as big as I am, my man.
No, alhamdulillah, I'm feeling great, man, feeling great. Looking forward to putting on a spectacular performance in front of the Puerto Rican fans, the Mexican fans, and I'm glad to, get the opportunity to showcase my opportunity here.
It's been no nonsense all week from you this week. Even right now, standing next to you, I can feel the intensity. Tell me why this one's different.
Because I got a lot to prove. I got a lot to prove, and like I said, it's the first one in America. And what a reception I've received here, like the love I'm getting here and whatnot. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man.
You walked around New York, and Edgar says he's the king of New York. And, you did a little skit here with the Ring magazine, and didn't seem like many people knew who he was. What was that all about?
It was just something that had to be done. You know what I mean? Something that had to be done. But like I said, come Saturday night, they all know who I am.
You got any final message for your fans all across the world and the people here in New York that are going to be watching on Saturday?
Just listen, inshallah, it'll be a great performance, a great fight, and it's my time to give back to you lot, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Hamza. Good luck on Saturday. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for Hamza Sheeraz.
And now let's welcome, from Brooklyn, New York, his professional record, 23 wins, just 1 defeat, 18 of his 23 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the current WBO and ABO super middleweight champion and a former world title challenger. Here is Edgar, the chosen one, Berlanga.
Well, Mike, most people remember Edgar Berlanga not from his most recent fight where he knocked out a tomato can in round 1 in Orlando, but his fight against Canelo Alvarez. Where does he sit in your mind, talent-wise, and in this division?
Todd, I think he has a lot to prove. That fight against Canelo Alvarez, he gets dropped in round 2, and then I didn't really think he was doing his best to win the fight. He certainly didn't impress other than going the distance.
Look, he has a lot to prove in his hometown. He's going to be wanting to look for the knockout. That's going to actually benefit Sheeraz. This is an important fight for Berlanga to shut a lot of people up after that Canelo criticism. This is going to be his night.
Folks, I'm here with the other half of your main event, Edgar Berlanga. This is your moment, your city, and you've had a lot to say in this lead-up about Hamza, about the plans they have for him. What are your plans on Saturday night?
We locked in, man. First and foremost, I want to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for this opportunity. We ready. We locked in, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to destroy this dude this weekend. It's a big night, July 12th. We about to turn up.
What's it mean to be here in New York, in front of your people? Not just the New York area, but the Boricuas, everybody in your corner. How does this moment feel?
Oh, it's amazing, man. I want to thank my people, everybody, that's coming out July 12th. It's going to be a spectacular night, man. I'm locked in, super locked in. And I'm ready to perform, man. It's a blessing to be here. The headlining in New York, where I was born and raised at. It's the concrete jungle.
Any message to Hamza? Him and his team are standing over there. They had a couple words to say as well. Any message?
I don't give a fuck about them. Fuck them. They already know the vibes, man. I'm outside, July 12th, we about to kick his ass. And move on to the next.
And then last one from me, there's plans for the winner of this fight. Obviously, you're not looking past Hamza, but what would a win mean for your career?
First off, I don't give a fuck about his plans or what they got for him. You know what I'm saying? He got to go through me first. You know, but July 12th is the night that I'm looking forward to right now. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot in the future. You know, a lot of big fights to be made. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, this weekend I got to fuck this motherfucker up. That's it. Beat him up, and then we go on to the next.
That's it, folks. Give it up one more time for one half of your main event, Edgar Berlanga. And now, folks, we're going to go ahead and hit a face-off here between Berlanga and Hamza Sheeraz. Hamza, if you come back to the stage for us, please.
Won 18 knockouts. Hamza Sheeraz 21-0-1 with 17 knockouts. An early prediction, Mike?
I like Hamza Sheeraz in this fight. I know he lost to Carlos Adames, but that was the most experienced opponent of his career. I think he learned a lot in that fight, and I think 160 pounds was the wrong weight for him.
Listen, I absolutely agree with what you're seeing, Mike. I could see Sheeraz winning a fight, but can he do it all the way to the finish line? I think Berlanga's power, I think his intensity, his speed, just like he did against Quigley and against others. This is a man that could carry his power late. I could see Sheeraz getting knocked out in a fight that he's ahead in.
You hear the language used by Berlanga and the language used by Sheeraz. It's almost class versus crass between these two. Even Sheeraz said, man, we couldn't be any more polar opposites.
Yeah, I think in the ring as well, Todd, I think Sheeraz has the classier skills, the better jab, the better footwork. Let's not forget, Berlanga hasn't faced a lot of class opponents either. This is going to be the second best opponent of his career.
Look, let me tell you, if it wasn't for that Carlos Adames fight that gave him the experience, Sheeraz can cross the finish line. He knows when he's behind. This is going to be an excellent matchup style, but it's going to come down to the late rounds, the championship rounds. Is this man ready for it? Is Adames ready? I mean, is Sheeraz ready for it? We're going to find out Saturday.
Some choice words after the stare down, and it promises to be quite a fight. Remember, two main events. You've got Hamza Sheeraz and Edgar Berlanga, as well as William Zepeda and Shakur Stevenson. But guess what? We got the week after that, July 19th, a massive double bill live here on DAZN.
Usyk versus Dubois 2, July 19th. He silenced Britain's best. Usyk, the brick breaker, fighting for greatness, for the flag, for legacy. But now, the dynamite is ready to explode. Dubois, reborn, sharper, stronger, a weight of a nation on his shoulders. July 19th, Wembley roars beneath the lights. Who will become undisputed heavyweight champion of the world? Usyk versus Dubois 2, live only on DAZN. Buy now at DAZN.com/boxing.
That huge heavyweight showdown just a week away, and later that same night, it'll be a super flyweight unification battle between Jesse Bam Rodriguez and Cafu. Then in August, we go back to Riyadh for Moses Itamwa and Dillian White, the headline act on another star-studded card as part of Esports World Cup Week. And back inside the Hard Rock, you just missed a couple of crotch grabs by Edgar Berlanga while we were away. Sergio, this guy is just willing to try and stir up anybody's emotions here inside this building.
Crotch grab, huh? No, this is a man that knows how to act in front of his people, man. There's a swagger to him. There's something you can't teach. He has charisma. He has power. I mean, he has the shades on. He's the born bad boy, and that's what you need in New York. You need that bad boy status, and he carries it, plus he carries the power.
Hey, it's great to act the part, but now he has to deliver on Saturday night. He didn't deliver against Canelo Alvarez. Obviously, Canelo's one of the greatest fighters of all time, but Hamza Sheeraz is going to be the second best opponent of Berlanga's career. This is not the kind of guy he's been knocking out in the first rounds.
Well, listen, hey, Berlanga had plenty to say. So too did Shakur Stevenson, basically saying, if you don't believe me, just watch what I do. But he said that before, has he not?
He said it many times before, Todd. I'm not a believer. I hope he makes me a believer. But, again, for the fans saying, oh, it's not Rock'em Sock'em Robots, it's not Power Stop, I agree. You can use your jab, you can use your movement, and still punish the opponent.
I'm a believer. I'm a believer because he has the quicker feet, the quicker hands. He fights at a range. The southpaw advantage is not going to be it. It's the footwork. Can Zepeda break that range, break that distance with enough head movement to not be caught down the line with those sniper left hands from Shakur? I think you're on this one, Mike, but we're going to find out on Saturday.
Berlanga still holding court, willing to sign autographs, take pictures, and talk trash. That's what he does best. What do you think it's going to be like for Hamza Sheeraz? We've seen a lot of British fighters come over here. Obviously, Anthony Joshua come to New York. They haven't fought in the States before. It feels a little different time zone, different feel from the crowd, and they melt under the lights. Do you think Sheeraz is built to handle it?
I think he's ready. You know, this is a genuine coin flip fight, but I think Hamza Sheeraz is going to learn a lot from that fight against Carlos Adames. Adames is no joke, and if Sheeraz is not going to perform here, then I don't know where he goes from here.
No, I agree. This is the beauty of this card. I mean, this is a city of never sleeps, right? But someone's going to get put to sleep. There's going to be a lot of knockouts from beginning to end. I'm looking forward to Saturday. We got a long way to go.
Yeah, we got a long way to go. We'll be back right here tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern time, as we have our open workouts. All the fighters will be here on the stage showing you some of their skills and getting set for Saturday night's mega card. It's Ring 3 live from the U.S. Open Tennis Center, Louis Armstrong Stadium. For Mike Coppinger and Sergio Mora, I'm Todd Grisham. We'll see you later right here on DAZN. Enjoy the soccer.
Live, only on DAZN, July 12th, Ring 3, Berlanga versus Sheeraz and Stevenson versus Zepeda. They're in their prime, they're hungry, and they're done being called the future. Berlanga versus Sheeraz, Stevenson versus Zepeda. Ring 3, live, only on DAZN. Buy now at DAZN.com/boxing.